Since I've been a gamer since the very beginning, my view on games that have a very dated style of presentation is understanding up to a point. That said, there are definitely looks from specific generations that I find I'm more irritated by than others, and though it's arbitrary, it's hard to help. In the case of It Could Happen to You, there's a primitive pixelated look that it emulates that is among my least favorite. It actually reminds me of a very old PC-based board game called Jones in the Fast Lane, and while I have fond memories of that specific title, I'll admit that seeing highly digitized versions of people just bugs me. But anyway, on to the game, which has some mildly creepy vibes from mysterious figures, lights in the night, cattle mutilations, and some scared townsfolk. The format of play is very much in a classic point-and-click adventure sort of style, though with very stripped-down mechanics where you'll essentially move from static area to static area, and what limited interactions you have to choose from are clearly marked. Depending on which basic action bubble you choose on the screen, you could either be presented with a list of related options to choose from, or just have the story proceed when there are no alternatives to select. Clocking in at just a few hours, depending on the rate you're reading and making your choices. For the most part, this works as a mildly interactive visual novel. You will need to make decisions, and depending on what you choose, there are multiple potential endings. But on the whole, most things that happen don't feel like they vary too greatly depending on what your average decision may be. In terms of whether or not it has enough thrills or chills to be of interest, there's at least some potential drama as the game's story comes to a close. But for the most part, one also can't say I felt much of a connection to anything beyond a mild interest in seeing where things would end up. But if you're down for a bit of an odd story on a budget, and you don't mind the game's very dated style, it may be worth considering. Overall, my final score for the game ended up being a 6. And if you're interested in picking it up, it's currently available on the Switch eShop for $4.99. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this review. And if you'd like more information or ideas of indie games worth checking out on Switch, be sure to click on the link provided in the description. Until next time.